what is a niche? What is a meta niche? And what is an anti niche? And so this is an episode where I wanted to get into this unique topic because I don't think anybody's really talked about it ever, at least that from what I can tell. Maybe there's been some people, and if you actually know anybody, feel free to leave a comment down below and so I can check it out because I would really appreciate it. But I thought of this meta niche actually way back when I first started creating content because my personal brand, Poly Innovator, is about being this polymathic person. And it's just one of those things where I felt compelled to create topical content across a multitude of niches. And I didn't want to pick just one niche. And so there is kind of this notion of if you want to have multiple niches, do you put it all into one brand or do you want to make four different brands, like one for each, and kind of have this ecosystem, which is kind of what I've evolved into, but I don't necessarily know if it's the best, and I can explain why in a moment. But really, having a meta niche is kind of like an excuse to do so. So at the beginning of me creating content, for Hall Innovator at least, I was talking about knowledge management through self-learning, self-education. That was my niche. But as that evolved, I started talking about knowledge management as a whole. And from the very beginning, I was also at the same time talking about polymathy. I had two very interconnected topics, knowledge management and polymathy. Polymathy being the person who is a multi-expert in three or more different areas and insatiable curious. That is what a polymath is, right? It's the generalized definition. And from there, I considered my polymathy niche to be my meta niche. Because since it is what my topic is about, I'm making videos and blog posts about becoming a polymath and how do you become a polymath, what is a polymath. I figured everything else I make, all the sub brands underneath it, are just different arms of my content empire, if you will. And I think that that notion is actually fine. I think that a lot of people could do that. Think of it like a variety gamer streamer where they might technically have their meta niche as like role playing games, but or they could just be like a variety gamer. They might do Apex one day and Octopath Traveler the next day, and then State of Decay the next day, and then Stardew Valley the next day. That's fine, but you know you're not going to grow as fast because you have these different topics, and people might find you for Apex but leave you for Stardew, and so it's just one of those things where people have this notion that if you don't have a specific niche and you box down, then you're not going to grow. I disagree. There is a big hurdle against you, and you definitely have to face that hurdle, and you have to accept that that could be the case. But I think that if you are strategic and actually trying to go about making your content more effectively, then having a meta niche, which giving you access to multiple sub niches, I think that works fine. Now, I ended up evolving my content ecosystem into multiple different brands and in turn into multiple channels. Like this is the content creator channel. This is separate from my Poly Innovator channel, despite the fact I have renamed this channel to the Content Polymath to try to link them a little bit more closely. It's still a separate brand, really. And I made it that way because I felt it would kind of hinder both channels. I felt like even though I was making content, actually I started the interviews and some of the content tool reviews, content videos on my main channel originally before I moved it over to this one. However, I felt like it was competing. The two different interview shows were competing for attention, and then all of my I had multiple different shows that I was doing individually too. So I just felt like there was too much competition going on, and I just wanted to let them stand on their own, mainly because if I was just doing one series about how to be a content creator and just had a playlist, I think it would have been fine on my channel. I think that if I wanted to do multiple sub niches, but I was only doing a simple playlist or a simple newsletter alongside that playlist, I think it would have been fine for Poly Innovator to have multiple phases. I initially came up with the idea of phases to allow me to have multiple topics over the course of time. And I think that if someone were to employ that notion with their content strategy from the beginning, and I can maybe coach them on it and tell them how to do it, then I think that allows them to have a multi-niche or using something like polymathy as a meta niche. It's not the only one, but it's a very easier example to understand. Now, a niche is literally just a topic, an area of interest, right? So that is what we talk about. People always say niche down, niche down, niche down. You don't need to niche down. You just need to have a consistency factor. And usually by niching down, you keep things more consistent. But that's why I created the Omni content series, because I wanted to have a strategy. My consistency is of that strategy. Every episode would be a video, blog post, and podcast. And while I was somewhat successful at it, I wasn't consistent with it, and that's what failed. Not so much the fact that I was doing multiple topics, but because I wasn't able to do it consistently. And then the meta niche, like I said, is kind of like an umbrella topic that allows you to talk about multiple things underneath it. An anti niche is a little bit more obscure, and I just kind of wanted to come up with it in this video to just kind of have the discourse around it. I think that polymathy in of itself is technically an anti-niche, or being a generalist. Like the gaming channel I made, I called it the generalist gamer because I wanted to have this anti-niche persona where I was like, I'm not going to pick just one genre of games. I wanted to make anything. And again, if I was just doing one game and I only wanted to do that one game for my gaming content, that's all I cared about, then again, Polyinnovator's main channel probably could have had it. I probably could have had Saturday for gaming, and then Friday for Polymath, and then Tuesday for the Polytool stuff. And I kind of like that idea more. I like having it all in one place because it's me, right? It's all my interest, and I'm just sharing it with you. It's a personal brand. If it was a business, it's a different story, but as a personal brand, I think it's much more available for someone to kind of wrap their head around. Okay, they're multifaceted, cool. But since I wanted to be a variety gamer, since on the creator channel I wanted to talk about tools and how to be a creator and interview creators, and now even on the main channel it's knowledge management for polymaths. Like all three of the channels have multiple topics within themselves, and so that's why it gets so meta. Right? You have the umbrella of umbrellas, and I think that is why I wanted to make this video today and explaining that topic. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, let me know. I'm kind of curious to see what people think about this.